Iowa Western is a relatively new football program, with them only starting their program in 2009, but since then they have dominated at the junior college level. They're coming off their third national title since 2012 after blowing out East Mississippi Community College in the national title game. This is the story of the 2023 NJCAA National Champions. This is the rise of Iowa Western football. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I plan to release a video every day from now until Christmas. Also, let me know who your favorite JUCO football team is in the comment section below. Iowa Western began playing football in 2009, but was put on current head coach Scott Strohmeyer's radar before the school announced they were going to begin playing football. Brenda Hampton, former Iowa Western athletic director, reached out to Strohmeyer to get his opinion on whether the Reavers should start a program themselves and what it would take to get one up and running. At the time, Scott was the head coach of North Iowa Area Community College, where he was finding some success his first 3 years coaching there. He helped lead North Iowa Area to multiple postseason appearances and was beginning to make a name for himself. When his brother Mike, who was also on the NIACC coaching staff, took a recruiting trip to Council Bluffs, he decided to drive through the campus. He immediately called Scott, telling him that if Iowa Western began a program, that he needed to apply for the job. Mike felt like the school was unbelievable and that Scott could build a special program. Strohmeyer applied for the job and interviewed on campus. Before he even left campus the day of the interview, he was given the job. He had a vision unlike any other candidate interviewing for the job at the time. According to the Des Moines Register, he had plans to turn a junior college into a successful program by filling the rosters with top talent that was either overlooked or unprepared to play at the next level. Strohmeyer, a former college quarterback who had coaching stints at Concordia and Truman State, knew what coaches at the next level needed when it came to landing recruits. Scott's goal: help his guys get to or get back to the next level of college football. So he had 3 goals in mind. First goal, always have the coaches accessible to take calls and answer emails from prospective coaches who were looking for JUCO guys. His second goal was to always have film ready on his players for the prospective coaches. And the third goal was to make sure his players kept their grades up and had their transcripts ready to go. Some college coaches make quick decisions on JUCO recruits, and by having a pipeline for communication, film, and transcripts, it would make his players rise above the rest. He knew if he did all that right, he could send his players to Division I schools, creating more opportunities for them as well as his football program. Shortly after taking over, Strohmeyer and his staff went through the website of every Division I, Division II, FCS, and NAIA school in the country and tracked down phone numbers and email addresses for each team's recruiting coordinator. They then started emailing out their prospect lists, hoping to get the attention of anyone who would listen. When it came to recruiting players, Strohmeyer focused on Iowa high school recruits who were multi-sport athletes but had yet to focus on football. He felt that if he found talented athletes, the staff could teach the players the basics and get them into the weight room, which would lead to them flourishing as football players. He also recruited players who had struggled at their previous colleges. In the past, players would have to sit out a year before transferring from one Division I school to another. Iowa Western could offer them a place to play right away without having to miss time. Through hard work in the classroom and on the field, his players could turn into hot commodities for 4-year university coaches. He made sure his players had the grades to move on by telling them to not only go to class, but sit in the front row so they'd get to know their teachers. He also mirrored his programs after Division I programs by setting up weightlifting sessions, morning practices, film study, and tutors. To give his players more eligibility, knowing it would make them more attractive as prospects for bigger schools, he redshirted his players their first year so they could become bigger, stronger, and faster, but still have 4 years of eligibility left. In their inaugural season, Iowa Western went 5-4, but went 9-2 in 2010 and 2011. In 2012, they won their first national title, going 12-0, and they were quickly becoming one of the premier JUCO programs in the nation. He turned guys like quarterback Jake Waters from unrecruited guys out of high school to Division I quarterbacks. Waters went on to commit to Kansas State after the national championship season. The national championship gave the Reavers some street cred with recruits and the respective college coaches around the nation. That enabled them to keep landing the top talent and sending it to the next level. Things also changed for the players. Before the title, the coaching staff was calling schools on players' behalf to get them a chance to the next level, but after the title, coaches were coming in droves to look at Iowa Western players. Strohmeyer, estimated more than 300 players have gone on to play at Division I schools after leaving Iowa Western. Some include Dominic Daphne and Rico Gafford, who have even played in the NFL. Guys like Ashland Barker, who never got a snap in 2022 and redshirted, were playing for Florida State in 2023. The Reavers became the gold standard at the JUCO level and even had Last Chance U trying to document their success, but Strohmeyer was worried it would cause a distraction for the team after a few sessions of filming practices. Strohmeyer even had opportunities himself to jump to the next level of coaching, but chose to stay at Iowa Western, saying it would have to be something, a no-brainer situation. I love it here. I'm totally content with ending my career as a junior college football coach. He loves helping under-recruited guys make it to the next level and finding success. Coach Strohmeyer has turned Iowa Western into a JUCO powerhouse, winning multiple conference titles and making it to the national title game multiple times. In 2021, they finished as JUCO runner-ups with a 10-1 record, losing to the New Mexico Military Institute 31-13 in the national title game. In 2022, they dominated throughout the season, going 10-2 with their only 2 losses coming to Coffeyville and Hutchinson, putting up 354.8 yards per game and allowing only 185 yards per game. They scored an average of 31.3 points per game to opponents, 10.6 points per game as well. They pitched 4 shutouts throughout the season, including their rematch against Hutchinson in the national title game, beating them 31-0 to win their second national title. They opened up the 2023 season with hopes to repeat as national champions. Iowa Western started off the season with a close win over Dodge City before blowing out both the Georgia Military College and Garden City. Highlands tested them, but they survived the upset bid and proceeded to blow out Ellsworth, former Last Chance U school Independence, before being tested by Snow College and Butler City. They blew out Iowa Central but came back in the second half to beat Coffeyville 20-17 to set up a huge matchup against Hutchinson, with both teams undefeated heading into the matchup. Iowa Western took a 21-14 lead into half, but watched as Hutchinson ran away with it in the second half to fall in the regular season finale 42-28. Hutchinson would earn the 1 seed for the NJCAA playoffs, while Iowa Western was given the 2 seed. In the semifinals, the Reavers destroyed Kilgore College 47-7 to make it back to the national title game for this 3rd year in a row. They took on former Last Chance U darling East Mississippi Community College, who had upset Hutchinson 27-23 in their semifinal matchup. Iowa Western would destroy EMCC in the title game, taking a 27-7 lead into half, and ran away with the game to win 61-14. Their 61 points were the most in a championship game since 2015, and were the 2nd most points all time. The Reavers ran for over 300 yards on the ground compared to EMCC's 56, and they finished with 553 total yards. Hunter Watson accounted for 5 touchdowns in the game, was named the national championship MVP. Scott Strohmeyer has built a special program down in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and it does not look like they will be slowing down anytime soon. The Reavers have accounted for the most wins by an NJCAA football program since 2010, and Strohmeyer is 140-28 as head coach. They have finished ranked inside the top 5 11 times in the last 15 seasons to close out this year, and are the gold standard for JUCO football. Don't be surprised if they're back in the national title hunt in 2024. What do you think? Who wins the 2024 NJCAA National Championship? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more college football content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.